I'm here for the stories. Bro, I got stories for days. You guys want a story? I'll tell a story. I'll tell a story about the time I went to South Korea. I loved Korea. I went to Seoul. It's such a cool city. Highly recommend it. But this is not a story of Seoul. This is the story of the little like holiday town, vacation town known as Sokcho. I'd heard it was pretty cool. Also, there's a national park there. And apparently that national park has, it's something like the tallest mountain in Korea or something, or maybe it's like second tallest. Guys, I was there over 5 years ago. The details are getting a little lost. So I hop on the train from Seoul, head over to Sokcho. I spend the night there. When I leave my hostel, I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna like go wander around a little bit, nothing too intense. They have like a tram, I'll take the tram up. And so I get there, I go check out the tram, but it's like, the like schedule it's on is a little weird. You gotta like purchase your ticket ahead of time. And so like probably gonna miss the tram. And I start looking around and I see like a sign and it's talking about the hike up to the top of the mountain. I'm like, well, I mean, maybe I could just do the hike. I mean, sure, yeah, sure. Woefully unprepared right now. Yeah, I am. I'm woefully unprepared. Sure, yeah. I'm not wearing proper hiking shoes. I have Converse All-Stars on. It'll be fine. Sure, yeah, I don't have much water, like maybe 500 milliliters of water. Yeah, sure, I don't really have any food. But like, come on. I grew up in Canada near the Canadian Rocky Mountains. I'll be fine. Guys, if you don't know what this is foreshadowing. This is a literary device known as foreshadowing. So I start. And I'm going along, having a good time. You know, I'm by myself. And then I get to a sign. This is like maybe an hour in or something. I get to a sign. I'm like, okay, sweet, we should be close. And I look at the sign. First things I noticed is that I'm not close. Second thing I notice is that I finished the easy part. So it's like an elevation map, and it's color-coded by how hard it is, right? And we just finished the green. Now standard traffic light rules apply here. Green, easy. Yellow, harder. Red, much more difficult. Black, hardest. As you all know, you guys have probably all seen the black traffic lights if you've driven ever. Anyways, we finished the green. We got some black ahead of us. I'm like, well, how hard can black be? Come on, I grew up in the Canadian Rockies. It'll be fine. And so I keep going. Now keep in mind, like I said, I don't have enough water for this. I'm not wearing the right shoes for this. I'm not kitted out for a proper hike. I'm going up and it gets a lot more steep and a lot harder. And I'm fucking huffing and puffing. I'm chugging and I'm starting to get hungry. But I'm close enough now to the top that I'm like, well, I'll just power through it. But I am hungry. Now it's been, I don't know, like maybe 2 hours, 2.5. I can't remember. Guys, the details are a little fuzzy. I'm almost at the top though. I know I am. There's been a sign that says not that much further or whatever in Korean, because I read perfect Korean, obviously. But I'm so hungry. Like literally at the point where I'm like, I could faint from hunger right now if I keep going. But I come across this Korean dude who's coming down. And this guy looks like a hiker. This guy speaks broken English. In Seoul, I wouldn't have worried. In Seoul, everybody speaks English. In Sokcho, a lot fewer people speak English. But luckily, this guy speaks enough English that I can communicate with him a bit. And I'm basically begging this guy, like, do you have anything like a chocolate bar, an energy bar, like a goddamn like peanut? I don't care. I'll take anything at this point. And this dude's super friendly, super nice. He's got an extra candy bar on him. He gives it to me. And all he wants in return is a picture. And this man probably saved my life. Now, the story's not over. I make it to the top. I'm feeling good. I'm happy. Also, he informs me that there's a little store at the top of the mountain, which is cool. And he's like, you can get more food there. It'll be chill. I'm like, dope. Thank you so much. I get to the top. There's a little store there. I buy another couple chocolate bars and a can of Pocari Sweat. That's what it's called. That's their electrolyte hydration drink, Pocari Sweat. And let me tell you, those candy bars and that can of Pocari Sweat is like 2 Christmases and 3 birthdays all in one. I'm at the top. I'm feeling better. I'm having a great time. Clouds start to roll in. And not normal clouds, but rain clouds, in case that wasn't clear. Keep in mind, I'm wearing Converse All-Stars, not hiking shoes. And I gotta get back down this mother, okay? I'd basically run down this mountain to beat the rain. I'm basically running, I'm thinking to myself, man, I might show up on the Korean news tomorrow, and they'll be like, stupid white boy dies on Korean hike. This is my boy, my homie, the Korean dude who gave me food when I needed it most. This is me, in case you couldn't tell. This is the dude who gave me a chocolate bar. Pog champion. And I am just the happiest. I'm like, I survived. I'm alive. The thing is about Seoul, everything in Seoul is in English as well as Korean. You don't need to know Korean in Seoul. You don't. And the further away you get from Seoul, the less English people speak. There are 2 times where I was outside my comfort zone in Korea. One was in Sokcho. I took the bus over to Sokcho. I was hanging out. I was like, damn, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten lunch. And it's like you could go for dinner, but you would be having a pretty early dinner. That's the time right now. So I go to a place, and keep in mind, Sokcho is pretty far from Seoul. And I go to this place. It's a Korean barbecue place in the end. I didn't know that when I went in. I just saw a restaurant. I was like, all right, I'm going in. Place is empty because it's a little too early. They haven't hit the dinner rush yet. And it's like a family-owned restaurant kind of thing. The mom is like running the place, and then the son is like being like, here's your table. Like, can I take your, like the waiter. I don't know why I didn't just say he's the waiter. The son is the waiter, right? And right off the bat, he can tell. He's like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. This guy probably doesn't speak Korean. He's gonna be uncomfortable. This man, he doesn't really speak English either, but he's like, I'm gonna try and make this dude comfortable. So he shows me the table, and like, this is the kind of table where like in the middle, there's a barbecue, because you barbecue your food there at your table the way you want it, right? It's just like on the wall, there's like, what combo do you want, right? Like, what combination of meats and stuff do you want us to bring you for your barbecue? I don't know that. I've never done this before though. He's like pointing, we're playing charades. He's like, which one do you want? I'm like, well, what about this one? And like, none of these are made for one person. This is meant to be like a minimum 2, but like probably 4+ people to a table kind of place, right? So it's way too much food, and the dude knows that, and I don't. He brings out all this food. He can probably see that I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. It's raw meat. It's like leaves to wrap things up. It's sauces I've never seen before, right? And so he turns on the barbecue, and he sits down next to me, and he shows me, he puts some meat on the barbecue. He pulls out a leaf. He flips the meat over. He gets some garlic roasting, all of it, right? He's just sitting there, right? There's no one else in the restaurant, so it's fine, right? He doesn't have anything else to do. And he just starts eating my food. He like puts some meat in a leaf, puts some garlic in there, some sauces, wraps it up, starts eating it. And then he eats it. And then he's like, now you do it. And I'm like, oh. And I'm more than happy, right? There's more than enough food for one person here. Like, this is a 4-person meal. He was giving me the demo. So he has one, and then I do it, and I have one. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He literally sits there and eats with me. We have dinner together. He's showing me, because there's so much stuff, right? He's like, oh, try some of this. Okay, now put a little bit of this sauce, not too much, right? Like, he's showing me all the different good combinations, right? I'm getting the insider scoop, the best way to eat this. It was awesome. It was awesome. I loved it. I was so happy. And that's a story about about the cute date I had in Korea. It was cute. It was cute as hell. It was cute as hell, okay, guys?